Now we're coming to see the example of a use case. Okay, as you see here, this is the example of a use case. Here we see that there is a use case name, here is the ID, here is the priority. These are the elements of a use case as we have discussed previously. Here is the actor, this is the loan chemical applicants, and here is the description. You see that, so you write a short description about your use case. Here is a trigger, that's action that will initiate the use case. Also we have, you say you learn here a loan chemical applicants needs a chemical for a job, so that's the trigger. We have preconditions. These are the states in which a user should be in so as a use case should start. And we have, let's say we have the loan chemical applicant should be authenticated, so that's one of the precondition, and other precondition as have been shown here. Also we have normal causes. These are major steps as we described or as we learned before. So here they have been described like this one. So you should know when you are writing or when you are preparing your use case, you should include these things. But it's very rare to be asked in an exam to write the use case, but you have to know these major steps. Also we come to post conditions. So after these major steps, then after the event have been done, what's the next thing? Let's say we have post condition here. So these things show that after the event, so now what will be the next thing? This here should be written. So let's say the request is stored in the chemical management system. So after a chemical request, so the request is stored in the chemical management system, and all of the things here you have to know. Exceptions: if the chemical is no longer approved for use, so that's one of the exception will be, it means the error message will come to that chemical is no longer approved for use, so that's the error message. And so that's all about the example for use case. I think you have seen it clearly, and you can have your demo. Also, something that's very important to know is about the relationship between use cases and functional requirements. The relationships comes when use cases are the ones who help us to derive the functional requirements, because they are tend to explain. So according to those explanations, we come to know that we have the functional requirements. So they help us to transform user point of view to developer's point of view by creating the functional requirements. So if you'll be asked what's the relationship between use cases and functional requirements, you will have to say that use cases help us to derive functional requirements. And we come something very important. We have to know use cases, how to build use cases. There are major 4 steps that we first identify use cases. Use cases are the major events to be done. So if you identify the major events to be done, then you have identified the use cases. Then we identify the major steps, so in each use case. Then we come to identify element within. So we come to see the trigger. What will be the trigger? What will be something? The descriptions. You see that. So here are the things to be known, and confirm the use case. Is it right or wrong? Is it accurate? Is it accurate? Okay, you come to know something very important. Is called use case diagram. Use case diagram takes correct all use cases and put them into a single diagram and show it. Typically consists of these 2 things here: an actor or use case name, and also we have a system name. And when we say example for use case diagrams like this one, here this is a system boundary, this is a system name. So when you are drawing, you should consider these things. The actor should be outside, and it should be pointing like this one. This is the arrow showing what will be happening. So that's very important to know. The processes of identifying of drawing is the same. Identify use cases, draw above system boundary,